Even if you've been playing on Lichess for years, it's almost certain that you won't have explored every area of their site. There's a lot of features which are hidden just in places that you wouldn't think of looking, and some of them can be really useful. Others are just for fun. And in this video, I'm going to take you through the top 10 hidden features on Lichess. Watch this video all the way to the end, and you'll know more about Lichess than just about anyone. My name's Nathan Rose. I do all kinds of content around chess, so I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel. I do reviews of master games, tips on how to improve, and videos like this one, where I explore my favourite chess software and how to get the most out of it. So with that, let's get into the list. The first hidden feature is called Chess Pursuit, which is a mini-game which appears anytime you try going to an invalid URL within the Lichess domain. So let's give it a try. Type in, for example, lichess.org/404. If you try going there, you'll get the standard error message, which you see on many websites, 404, page not found. But if you scroll down, you've got this game that you can play. If you just click on the game, there's an intro sequence where the two kings are talking to each other. You can read that yourself. I'll just click past that. And pretty soon the game will begin. And playing as the black king, you've got to run this gauntlet where you're going to be faced with a bunch of white pawns and pieces. And if you try going onto any of the squares which the white pawns or pieces control, then you'll get this error, check, right? The king moves just like a king would move, either sideways, forwards and backwards, or diagonally. And the king can also capture. Let's just show that. If we go sideways, it can capture all those pawns. If you fall off the edge of the board, as I'll just do now, then the game is over. Just a fun little challenge that you can play when you've got an error message. Let's just go back to the Lichess homepage. The second hidden feature is the Opening Explorer, which is truly one of the most useful features found on Lichess, but it's so hidden that it's possible to play for a long time on Lichess without finding out where it is. So let me show you. To get to the Opening Explorer, you have to go to Tools, Analysis Board, and then click on this tiny book icon here. That's going to bring it up. There's a few different views here. There's the Masters database, which shows games played by strong chess players going all the way back to the 1950s. You can play any move and it will show what the top moves are in the position, with the winning percentage for white, the drawing percentage, and the winning percentage for black. You can see what the most popular moves are, the second most popular, and so on. Scroll down, you can see example games played by top players. I actually did an entire video on how to use the Lichess Opening Explorer, which I'll link up to. But one more quick thing that I'll highlight is that beyond the Masters database, there's also the Lichess database, which comprises of games played on their site. So it's the same thing, except it's just ordinary players playing online. And you can filter it by clicking on this gear icon and filter by time control, rating. So you could, for example, choose only games played in Rapid and Classical for 2000 and up and filter that way. And you can gain some insights there through this Opening Explorer. Extremely useful and not at all easy to find. The third hidden feature is called Puzzles from Player. Now let me explain what I mean by this. When you go to the puzzles area of Lichess, you'll notice that they are often sourced from games played on the Lichess site. So they're not drawn from Grandmaster games. This puzzle just came from a game between Chico 1807 and Perfect GG. So if you want to find all of the puzzles which have been sourced from a given player, for example yourself, you can click here, From My Games. So you could type in your own username or any other Lichess username. So let's just pick one well-known elite chess player, Anish Giri, for example, and then select him, search puzzles, and you'll see all of the publicly available puzzles which are sourced from games involving that player. Pretty neat. It's especially interesting, I think, to look at games which you've played yourself and which contain tactics which now the entire chess playing world are studying from, thanks to Lichess's puzzle tool. The fourth feature is bots. Okay, so probably you know that you can play against the computer. That's pretty obvious right there on the homepage. Just play and then play against computer, and then you can select a difficulty and away you go. But much more hidden is the bots, which is accessed through community, players, and then here on the sidebar, online bots. So these are bots which often users have created with different strengths. For example, here you can see this Maya 1 bot plays at a rating of 1590 rapid, and you can select it and choose which time control, real-time correspondence unlimited, which whether you want to be white or black, it's all there. So beyond just playing against Stockfish level 1, level 2, level 3 and so on, you can also play against these bots. Really hard to find, but can give you a game a bit closer to your own level. For the next few features, I'm going to get a game going. So let's play against the computer, and this game view will allow me to illustrate the next few features. The fifth feature is keyboard shortcuts. So if you press the Z key, that's going to activate what they call Zen mode, where a lot of the clutter is removed. Press Z to toggle between Zen mode, and also the F key will flip the board. This can be helpful to get your opponent's view of the board, the equivalent of walking around to the other side of the board on an OTB game. It can actually help with visualization when you see the game from your opponent's perspective. The sixth feature is to draw different colored arrows. So many people know that if you hold down the right mouse button, that's going to draw an arrow. But fewer people know that if you hold down the right mouse button plus Shift, that's going to draw a red arrow. Right mouse button plus Alt, that's a blue arrow. And if you hold Shift and Alt and the right mouse button, that's going to draw an orange arrow. The same thing works for highlighting squares, by the way. So Shift, Alt, and Shift and Alt together will draw all those different colors to help with board visualization through arrows. The next feature is the 3D board view. So you may know that it's possible to click on the gear icon and change the board to different colors. But what you may not have noticed is the 3D option here, which gives a totally different perspective on your game of chess. It's often known that players have trouble switching between the two-dimensional view that they get on the screen and the 3D view when they play chess in real life. So this may be able to help with that. Everything else is the same, it's just the game appears in 3D. While you're at it, you can change the piece set as well. Just for fun, just to give you a different view of the board, but it also may help with your play as well. Now let's say you make a mouse slip. Let's say that instead of recapturing the bishop, you move your king instead, right? A terrible, hideous blunder. Now your opponent's up a piece, you might as well resign the game, but before you do it, you might as well use the next feature, which is the ability to send the pieces flying, something that we've all wanted to do out of frustration at one point or another. And you need to actually refresh the page to set things back up again. Your game hasn't been lost. Your opponent doesn't know that you've done this, but it can make you feel a little bit better when you experience the frustration that can come with playing online chess from time to time. Let's head over to the analysis board for the next feature. So the analysis features are quite well known, but one feature that you may not know about is the ability to load up Stockfish and get it to put its top move on the board. So just to give a reasonably easy example, in this position, what is the top move according to Stockfish? Press the spacebar key and it'll show you. Rather than visually have it, you can just have Stockfish play out its moves by pressing spacebar, and you can see how the computer would have played the position. The final feature I want to tell you about is a way to share your game with the world. Not that that would be a great idea in my case, given this game was such a disaster, but if you did play a brilliant game, you can click on Share and Export, and there's a few ways of doing this. Many people will know already about sharing an FEN code, which is a representation of the board, or sharing a PGN, which is a representation of the entire game. But saving the game as a GIF allows an animated representation of the entire game. You can choose whether it's from White's perspective or Black's perspective, a few other options here, and click download, and the game will be generated for you to see, share on whichever place you like to share these sorts of things, social media, your own website. And that's the final tip I've got to share with you on the hidden features of Lichess. If you enjoyed this video, do show your appreciation by dropping a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this one, and feel free to leave a comment down below as well. I'd love to hear from you. I'm Nathan Rose. Enjoy those tips. Bye for now.